Good morning, folks. So today is Saturday, March 14th, and I'm coming here because I promised a live video last Sunday, and I wasn't able to do so due to so many reasons. Kind of preparing for what was to come as far as the the outbreak that y'all tripping over these days, and I come here to discuss my story and basically give someone, a word of encouragement or whatever the case may be, because I have seen a lot of stories that kind of made me want to do this video, do this live, because it's like a lot of people are lost and a lot of people are less fortunate at this time, unfortunately, due to so many reasons. And there was a point in a time in my life where I was also in the same situation. So I want to start off by telling you basically how I got in that situation and what I did to pull myself out of that situation. But I did have help. I had help from a shelter, and I also had help from a coach of mine. And I'll discuss that later. But a coach of mine when I was away at school for college. So I was living in Arizona, and I kind of got into a situation where I was working. I ended up getting in trouble as far as almost going to jail due to driving someone else's vehicle and jeopardizing my own life, jeopardizing my own license, being young and not knowing the law, and kind of put me in a situation where the person just vanished. I was working for a company that was not licensed. I was working for someone who was probably not even legal. But what happened was I was surrounded by a few folks that were not doing the right thing at the time being, and actually was living in that situation, but not, taking part of what was going on. So I won't get too deep into details because I can't really tell it all. Don't want to, hurt or offend anyone that's still out there that may see this, that may have been involved, but it was just not a good situation. So I had to end up leaving that place where I was staying while I was away in Phoenix, Arizona, to absolutely nowhere. And I actually moved back home, and then I moved back to Phoenix because I wanted to move back and do what I needed to do, finish school, or whatever the case may be. So, how do I start off? Whew, Lord, this is a deep one. So the reason I'm doing this is because I'm kind of exposing something that I never ever thought I would really ever expose. Um, I was ashamed at first. Most people may be ashamed of where they are right now in life, or where, you know, where they think they can't dig themselves out of. But it's a hard transition. It is not easy. You probably have no help right now. You probably have no guidance. You probably have no one to tell you what to do. You probably have landed in a situation, whether that's from losing a job, being put out your home. It could be anything. But I'm here to tell you that it only gets better. And this is a process that you probably won't understand right now. This is a process for you on your end right now, because I went through my process. And you always hear the statement, trust the process. And I would say that trusting the process is basically allowing yourself to give up others, allowing yourself to focus solely on you. And it's not being selfish by focusing on you, but you are all you have right now. Stop throwing the pity parties, stop sulking, stop thinking that, you can't do it, stop thinking that, it will never be what you wanted to be. Get rid of those negative thoughts. Just toss them out the window. I know it's not easy, but you have to shift your mind into a different thinking direction, and um accept it. Accept it for what it is. It is what it is. You can't change it. It's not going to change overnight. You need to basically accept what you have. You need to look at, how you can how you can grow and develop from where you are right now, how you can understand what you need to do, how you understand the resources that are around you. I'll talk about the resources as well, once I get into when I did my intake at the shelter. So, whew, Lord, the time was before Barack Obama's first election, and it was Christmas Eve. And I had nowhere else to go. I didn't know what to do. Prior to that, I think I stayed in a hotel maybe one night. But then after that, I had no more money. I had nowhere to go. I had no money. I was a broke college student. Um, I wasn't in school at this time frame because we were on break in December. But um, it was a lot. It was a lot. And when I say it was a lot to process. It was under fire. It was fight or flight, which I've turned into a different direction, from the way I used to know fight and flight when I was younger. But basically, just think about if you lost it all in the next 24 hours or the next 5 minutes. What would you do? Where would you go? Who do you know? What resources do you have to help you with your situation? That's basically what it boils down to. And I didn't know what to do, where to go. I'm in a different state. I don't know anything really about, homeless shelters or, transitional housing, whatever you want to call it, out what I was going to do. And I found oh God, I'm getting choked up. I found a shelter, um that was near, and I found out that they bust you to that shelter. But that was not something that I wanted to do. So I waited. Um I called the number, and I think I spoke to a guy the first time, and they were telling me, yeah, they have a shelter downtown central Arizona. But you have to come down there, you have to stand in line, you have to wait for a bid every night or whatever. Up and down the main road from, I think it was Scottsdale Road to towards Arizona State University. Um, I kind of pretty much just had like one bag, one suitcase, nothing real big. Um, and I slept where I could sleep. I've slept on a park bench. I've slept in, oh God, I've slept in, I don't even know if you want to call it a mountain, but there's so many there's so many crevices and so many nice mountainside or, rock pillars or whatever you want to call it in Arizona, red rock, that you can find something with a flat surface to sleep on, or they have like little, I don't want to call them caves, but they are indentations of like a cave that you could sleep in. I've slept there. I've slept in a bathroom, a bathroom stall, um, in Scottsdale, Arizona. Uh, I've slept in the hotel lobby until I couldn't sleep there. I've even slept in a hotel closet overnight on more than one occasion. Oh God. So with seeing some of the stories that I've seen on YouTube, on Instagram, um, I kind of feel how people are lost in the world. I kind of feel how people are not able to, figure out what they need to do or what the next move is. And I want to tell you that that was a horrible and bad situation for me. But what I found was that was my journey. That was the process. That was me understanding what my next purpose would be. That was me understanding where I wanted to go. That was me taking control of my own life versus everyone else telling me what I should and shouldn't do. And I have to honestly say, I don't regret it. Damn. I don't regret it because I was young. I was in my, what? I think I was 20, 21, something like that. I don't regret it because I was young. I'd rather it happen then than now. Um, because I learned a lot more about life, and I learned that school is not always the best way to learn things. I've learned that experience, I've learned that, skills, I've learned that lessons all play a major factor in every single thing that you do. And it is nothing about school. When I say nothing, I'm talking about textbook wise, as far as reading, writing, arithmetic, as far as math, algebra, accounting, whatever you want to call it. Will I say I haven't applied that to my life? No, I won't say I haven't applied it to my life, but I will say that it is not the most vital lessons when it comes to going out into the real world and understanding who you are, understanding what your purpose is, understanding your true happiness. In that same situation that's not happy, I'm sure there's a lot of people that's looking at their friends and seeing them elevate, and it's just like, damn, like, where's mine? Why me? Because that's the way I felt most of the time. And it's like everyone's elevating, it's like everyone's moving forward, but you don't understand or you don't see the process that they had to go through. All you see is what they have, where they're going, where they vacation. That's all you see. But that situation changed my life for the better. And when I say it changed my life for the better, it made me understand who I was as a person. It made me understand what my purpose was. It made me control my own life. It made me get my shit together and stop blaming everyone else. And I won't say that I really blamed everyone else, but I did have a lot of strongholds that I held on to as far as, myself, family, friends, people that were around me. And I had the wrong friends. And when you have the wrong friends, hey, what do you expect? You had the wrong friends, you had the wrong friends. And to this day, if you do not have friends that's around you that can elevate you, that can give you the necessary tools, to give you the necessary resources or help that you need, I don't give a damn what it is, whether it's to get a job, find a place to live, encourage you on a daily basis, invite you to a nice church or their church, vacation with them, whatever the case may be. Everything must be of elevation. Everything must grow because there was a point in time where it was a huge gap in my life when it came to friends, and it was like, look how big this is. And you can't put it back together. It's all you've outgrown so many things, and it's like, why do you even go back? Why do you belittle yourself to go back down here when you're way out here? So, with that being said, the process, you have to trust the process. And I want to let everyone out there who knows someone who is less fortunate, because I hate the word homeless. It makes you feel like fucking trash. It makes you feel like you're less important than anything else in the world. Um, At that time, you may not look your best. I didn't look my best. And that's because I didn't have money for a haircut. I didn't have money for clothes. But I found all these resources when I went to the shelter, which kind of blew my mind. I had to drop that low in life to understand where the hell I was going. So there's been so many posts on some of my other favorite YouTube pages to engage with, and Instagram as well. And it's just heartbreaking to see so many people say that they're less fortunate right now because number one, they're probably the same age I was at that time because they don't have any direction. They don't have any guidance, just like I didn't. I wasn't led in the right direction. No one held my hand. No one walked with me. Um, that just doesn't happen when you get in the real world. But in school, they tell you what? You gotta get ready to learn how to go to the workplace, to learn how to be on time, to learn how to this, to learn how to that. That's bullshit. Real life will teach you more shit than school. School is so outdated. The shit was outdated when I was in school, and the shit's still outdated as far as K through 12. That's the problem. And my thing is, if everything changes in society, why the hell doesn't the school system change? Everything changed. You change, your mama changed, your sister changed, your brother changed, your girlfriend changed, your boyfriend changed. What the fuck? Who don't change? But you got me using the textbook that my same friends used when I was in middle school. The same lessons, the same lesson plan, I'm sorry, the same packet of information. It's bullshit. So back to life. Um, for those out there that are less fortunate right now, understand that you are in your process and you need to figure out what you need to do. You need to figure out how to get the help that you need, whether you have an addiction problem, whether you have any type of, substance abuse, which was mostly around me during that time frame. And I actually helped a lot of people, kind of shift their mindset by volunteering at different places, by, going to different meetings that I really didn't need to be at, but I felt the need that, hey, this shelter is helping me, I should help back in the way. It is what it is. And those that are less fortunate right now, I want you to get a piece of paper and I want you to write down your goals. I want you to do this. So I'm gonna tell you my process and I want you to do it too. So into the shelter, let me give you a quick synopsis of how I got in. So I went to the shelter Christmas Eve. It damn near was almost midnight. And I was way, 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 way in the back of the line. When I say way in the back of the line, fuck, I was line at the club line, way around the corner. No one could see you from there if they were at the front door. But there was this guy, I would never forget his name. His name was Kevin. And unfortunately, someone, took his life because they was not in the right mind frame by one of the people staying at the shelter. And it crushed me. But Kevin was a short, stubby Caucasian guy. He was real cool though. And he came all the way to the back of the line. And when he looked at me, he like he looked at me like, okay, what the hell are you doing here? And I'm like, okay, why is he staring at me like that? So then when I figure out that he had something on his mind, I asked him, what did I ask him? Oh, I said, do you know how long, it would take to get a bed? Because I heard that you had to come here and stand in this line to get a bed every night. And he told me, he said, what are you doing here? I said something to the fact of I don't have anywhere to go. I've pretty much stayed at a hotel one night and then I also, slept in several places and I was like, I need help. And he was like, God told me to come back here. He told me to come back here for a reason. And it was for you. And he took me from way the fuck from around the corner. I'm talking about way behind there. I'll post the video of the area of the shelter and all of that today, maybe right after this video, and show you like the area and what it looked like. I even have a few videos because I did go back to visit, and it was not a good time when I went back to visit, but I did go back to visit. But he grabbed me from the line. He took me all the way to the front of the building. Took me on to the other side of the double doors where the staff were going in and told them to take me in for the night, sign me up for an intake, to meet with a counselor the next morning. And that was it. That's pretty much where it all started. And it made me feel important that someone thought that highly enough of me to come grab me out of line from way back there. Now I did feel bad for the people who were standing in line, but come on now. At the end of the day, everyone wants to be, you know, thought of, everyone wants to be, first. I mean, hey, I'm a Pisces. I was born on the first. I'm the first of my siblings. I'm always in my mind know that I come first. And you should know the same thing. You come first before anybody. I don't care who it is. You come first. You matter to you because at the end of the day, you are responsible for you. At the end of the day, leaving here by your damn self. Understand that. So Kevin was my savior that night. And when I checked in, Um, it was it was hideous. I mean, I felt like I was in hell. I saw mothers with their children living on the right hand section that was secure because they was in shelters, and I had never knew that families stayed at shelters like this. And I've heard of rumors. I didn't know for sure when I was in elementary school that, or middle school, that a kid was living at a shelter, but I didn't really pay no attention to that. I just thought it was, some other place to live for foster kids or something. I didn't know that life. And when you don't know something, you're not exposed to it, how could you really have any, I don't want to say empathy towards it because I knew what a shelter was, but it wasn't a big concern to me because guess what? It wasn't happening to me. I had a family who provided for me. I had, what I needed at the time being, but I wanted what society wanted was showing me and what they wanted to give me. But at the end of the day, I got intaked into this shelter and it was god awful. Now, it was a nice it was I won't say it was a nice facility. It's okay. And it's not something that you should want to stay at because you're there for a purpose. You're there to, get yourself together, get back on your feet, do what you need to do. But I feel like I was in hell. I saw everything. I saw everything around me. I saw, addicts. I saw drugs. I saw needles. I was fucking scared. I mean, people were in the bathroom, and this is a huge shared bathroom. I mean, people were washing up in the sink. People were doing drugs in the bathroom stall. People were smoking. It was awful. So I get checked in. I got my intake badge. I took the picture. My picture looked horrible. I'm going to find that ID card. I've been saying that for a while now, but I'm going to find that ID card because I know I still have it. I think it's in the shed, but I will find that ID card. I will find it. But it was so crazy to me because after Kevin came to get me, I put my bag down. I took the picture, and then the lady told me to stand to the side, and then I took the strip that she gave me, and she said, "Put this on the back of your ID." What I was putting on the back of my ID was my bed number, and my bed number was 325. 325. Now, this is December. Bed number was 325. 325 meant something to me. And 325 was the fucking goal that I had set in my head as soon as I saw it. 325 is my youngest brother's birthday, March 25th, 1994. I'm the oldest of four, and when I saw that number, I started crying. And the lady was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, I feel like a failure." And she was like, "No, don't feel that way." She said, "We all need help." She said, "I'm not sure what happened, but you look like a good kid. And is it something that I wrote?" And I said, 325 you gave me as a bed number. And that's my youngest brother' birthday. And I said, if you have not given me that bed number, I probably wouldn't have the motivation that just went through my head right now. 325. So it was December. It was election year for Obama. And 325 was the goal. I wanted to be out of there by 325. So every moment of that night was just crazy. People stealing shit. Somebody got attacked while they were asleep because they owed somebody money for you know what. Um, that was just the wildest shit ever. That was really wild. I could have never imagined that that would be my life at any point. But that Sunday, I was still lost. I was still confused. Well, no, that Saturday, I was still lost. I was still confused. Um, I really didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I wasn't going to give up. So I had met with the intake person, and we talked about getting a job, putting money to the side, which they they get your well, you get your check, but then you have to give them a certain amount of your check to put towards a savings account for you. Then they have all type of resources like the Catholic Church that will help you find, apartment. And then once you have help find your apartment, you get apartment, furnished, and it's a lot. It's a lot of resources. And people always talk about, Catholic churches and this and that. And I know everyone has done wrong, everyone has sinned, made a mistake, but this was one point in time in my life where I felt like this is the most a church has ever done for me. And when I say has ever, I mean in my community, my black and brown community, I've never had that type of help. I've went to the Catholic Church. They fed, people who were less fortunate. They gave you jobs. They gave you opportunities. They would pay for a bus ticket to get you home one way if that was your case or whatever the scenario is. It is whew, never experienced that from a black church. So it is what it is. And be in that situation beforehand, growing up, whatever the case may be. Money, a church I know always take money. I'm sure you know that same church too. I've never seen a black church help like other churches, and especially churches in Arizona. It was just different. It was so different. When I say different, it was so different. It was like a family. It's just different. So those resources were very valuable, and that was my rock bottom. And my rock bottom gave me a chance to understand me, a chance to understand what the hell I needed to do, a chance to understand that things will get better. So after being still lost and confused from that intake meeting, I tried to hold on to my strength, but I just broke down later on that day. I remember walking to the railroad track that was outside of, yeah, like outside of the, really like outside the gate. It was like right there, by the shelter. But I wasn't thinking of harming myself. I was just walking the tracks. Um, I was talking, I was walking, I was praying, I was crying. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where the next steps were even going to come from. But as long as you have something that you believe in, God, whatever, as long as you have something you believe in, that's your choice. And you can go there for, clarity. You can go there to, get deeper, talk to yourself, do it. And I started making promises to God. I told him, if you help me get out of this situation, I will go back to school. If you help me get out of this situation, I would dedicate my life to you forever. I will give and serve your people. And this is no joke. I said, if you help me get myself together first, because you have to understand you have to be together first before you can help anybody else. And that's the bad part. And I think a lot of people struggle with that too, because I struggled a lot with that growing up, because I would always help, 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 help. But there was no one to help or catch me. And at the end of the day, I was in a worse situation than I was by helping and helping and helping and helping. So I had to understand that. So that's a part of growth, but that's fine. That's who you are. You may be out there and you may say, I have the biggest heart in the entire damn world. Hey, I'm the heart too. I've been there, done that. As my aunt say, got the t-shirt. What you gonna do? So I made these promises to God, and yes, I have still kept those promises. And I said that I was gonna go to church the next day. And I woke up after coming back into the shelter late that night. I woke up and I got a phone book from the front desk. I went through the phone book and I said, God is the church that I will go to. So I opened up the phone book for churches and literally just started swiping pages. I said a quick prayer and then my finger landed on a church. Give me 1 second. So when my finger landed on the church, I said, I will go to whatever church this is, no matter how far I have to walk or if I have to get on the bus to get there. So I always call it first, what I used to call it? I think I used to call it First International Baptist Church. So it is not called First International Baptist Church. It's called First Institutional Baptist Church. And I got up that morning. I got dressed. I looked terrible. When I say terrible, it was not how I would go to church. But guess what? God is not expecting you to look your best at your worst. He just wants you to show up. I got up and I walked down Central about, I'm gonna say maybe four, about four and a half blocks, which probably would equate to about maybe a mile. And I went into this church, and it kind of reminded me of church back home because I grew up in the Baptist church with my godparents. That's how I ended up going to church with my godfather and godmother. So, grew up in the Baptist church, so I wanted to see what this Baptist church was about. And this is the one that my finger landed on. If it had been any other church, I would have went there, but it was intended for God. God intended me to go there. So I walked in and there was like a little side section, and then there was the middle section, which was the main part of the sanctuary. So I walked through the door, I went to the side section, I hid way in the back, way in the back. Then I came um I can't even. Oh, okay, I got it. So the song that came up for selection was "This Is Your Season," and it was, pretty much saying, seasons change, you change. So this is your season. That's all I could remember. And the song hit me so hard, I felt like it was speaking to me that I got up. I got up and I walked my ugly, terrible looking self all the way to the front of the sanctuary in the front row. And I sat there and I just stared. I stared at everything. I probably seen every artifact. I probably seen every person. It probably went through my mind of how stable they were in life, how they got there. It was a lot. You'll never know what you come across or how much you think when you have time. So, with that being said, Pastor Warren Stewart was the preacher there, and he had on his African regalia. It was tight. When I say tight, it was tight. And he spoke with power. He spoke with compassion. He spoke with just understanding his community, understanding, his congregation, understanding what people are going through when other people may not think about what they're going through. And I cannot remember what the sermon was about, but it hit deep. It really, really hit deep. And it kind of felt like it was speaking to me. So after the service, that's when I got up and went down to the front. You know how we all do in the Baptist church or in church at the end of the service when they ask you to come down. So I did that. And then we went away with the fellowship team. And we went into a room. And I felt weird. I didn't know why I even got up to go up and do this. I didn't even know if this would be a church that I would, be coming back to or I would join. I didn't know, but I went anyway. And this is something that I have shared already with so many people via post on YouTube, Instagram, from the stuff that I've seen. And I've lived by this every single day. I tell this to people all the time. And basically, I cannot even remember the preacher's name. Even I'll never forget people's name. I swear I don't. And this deacon, he was so patient with me. He was so, you know, trying to figure out, what worked, what didn't work, where I was at the time being, because we always fall to God in the bad times, but we also need to learn how to fall to God in the good times. Because I've learned to do both, and that only comes with growth. So he told me basically to look down at my feet. And I'm looking at him like, what? And he said, look at your feet. So then I had my eyes closed, but I looked down at my feet and I'm like, this dude don't know what he doing. I don't understand what this is about, but I'm ready to go. So the next thing he told me was, what's underneath of you? And I was like, my feet? He said, yes. I said, the ground. He said, okay, what about the ground? Looking like, dude, what? So he said, can you get lower? Can you get any lower than the ground beneath you? And my immediate response was, no, like with a smirk and an attitude. I felt bad, but I was like, I felt foolish because I was like, what are you doing? But guess what? We learn some of the most important shit when we feel like a fool. And he just basically said that, can you get any lower? And I said, no, once again. And he said, then guess what? The only way to go is up. And it was like a fucking light bulb went off. Think about that for a second. What do you think that means? The only way to go is up. I have lived by that every single day. And I think that that deacon for doing that, I hope he is still alive. He was not that much older then. He might have been, a mature man, but he wasn't like an old senior. So I hope that he's doing well. I guess he's not at the church anymore because I visited the church, but he was not there. If I see his face, I know who he is. But I have lived by that every single day of my life. It's what makes me get up. It's what makes me shut the fuck up in certain situations when I want to complain or cry or whine or moan. And that's another thing. Stop complaining because you're giving yourself that pity party that nobody asked you for. Get your ass up. Do what you have to do. You know what you have to do. Do what you have to do. We all need help. And that's number three, help. Everybody needs help. I don't care who you are. At one point, you're going to need help, but you have to want to help yourself first because nobody's just going to help you out the blue. And no one knows what you're going through. You may be hiding it. You may be too embarrassed. You may be ashamed, or whatever the case may be. I was the same way. And it took me years to become comfortable with even telling you this today. But I've learned over the years that our story is not our story. Our story is for others. Our story is for someone else who's in that same situation. Why would you keep that hostage? That's already the problem with our Black community. We keep everything in. We don't share information. We don't share resources. We don't do what we need to do. We want to be better than the next one. We want to have more than the next person. We want to be talked about. We want all the attention. That's not serving nobody but you. And guess what? At the end of the day, you go down because all that could be taken away. You're gonna be looking for people to be behind you, and they nowhere to be found. That's all I can tell you. Trust me, I've experienced it. Nowhere to be found. People are not, and a lot of people, even the people out here that claim they got a big heart and they help and they help and they help, but then when it comes down to their situation, they don't get any help at all. Guess what? Stop looking for it because that's not them, and they're not you. So don't put that expectation on them. Don't give them that. Don't give them too much. That's just not who they are. You are a gift from God. If you have a big heart like that, you are a gift from God. And guess what? You're here to serve on this earth until the day you go. Do what makes you feel happy. Do what makes you feel like, you getting your, point across or purpose served. We're all here to serve one another. And that's what I had to figure out. That's what you have to figure out. But you have to take care of you first. You have to. It's not going to work any other way. You have to have you together before you can help someone else. And it is what it is. Some people may call you selfish, some self centered, arrogant. I'm going to be all that, all of that. What can you do? So, once again, for those that are in that situation, those that are currently less fortunate, I want the world to understand that. Do not, please don't use homeless. And I hate that. And I've already told several friends that, and they can kind of agree, even though they haven't been in that situation. They can agree that that term is not derogatory. It's uncomfortable. Let's put it that way. Because I didn't feel like I was homeless, even though I didn't have a home. I just felt like I had less than someone else. And it's about more than a home. How do you maintain that home? You can have a home and not know what to do. But what is the real purpose? What are you here to serve? Are you giving out valuable information? Are you transforming? Are you changing lives? Are you touching someone to, give them a better understanding of where they are and what they need to do? That that's my drive. Because I never want someone to be in that same situation that I was in. But acceptance, ownership, all of that, you got to take that, bite that bullet, but you got to take that. It's on you. It may not be solely on you, but we had a time where we could have recognized that beforehand or, understand what that looked like before that situation occurred. But it's here. What can you do? Can't do anything right now. But what you can do is to change your mindset, shift what you need done now. Write it down. Get your goals together. Put it on paper. That's the other thing. Writing it down is a lot more than having it up here in your head. Write it down. Write it down. Yeah. Write it down. Write it down. Understand your goal. Understand your purpose. Understand where you want to go. And it's not going to be a fast process. I didn't graduate college until we talking about what was this? That was 2000 end of 2007 going into year 2008, I believe it was. I didn't graduate college till 2016. And check out that gap. But I learned. I was getting myself together. I did what I had to do. Don't think that everyone hasn't had their downfalls or been through a process or cried at night and you know wish they could have this and wish they can have that. Do do the work. Take action. Do your own work. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be fast. Fuck all that shit you see on Instagram. Fuck all that shit you see on YouTube. All that didn't come overnight. All these folks that got followers, millions or whatever the case may be. Yeah, they have a million followers, but what are they doing with that? Are they really inspiring? Are they really an influencer? Do they really know anything about life? Shit, what can you know in your early 20s that you really trying to help people with as far as putting your ass out there on Instagram or taking pictures and vacations and I ain't there with you. Why should I care? That's not real. It's their life, but it's not real. What's gonna happen when all of this go away? Who would you be without all of this in society today? Who would you be? Where's your morals? Where are your values? Where's your character? And we understand, well, I understand most definitely because I deal with youth and I deal with, seeing people on a daily basis who do not have the right direction, who do not have any type of guidance from an adult to help them build their own character, to help them understand who they are. They don't have that. There's no support system. And we can't, you know, think that other people should know. We should teach because it is what it is. So that's my Saturday morning for y'all. I wanted to pretty much give you this little token of my story. I'll discuss more later at a later time because there is a lot more to talk about. And YouTube has a lot of requirements. I'll try to download things from my phone. It's not working. So I had to come up here on a MacBook and get all of this shit out in front of y'all. So, Lord. But it's good. It's done for a purpose. So, if you're out there, you like this live today, go ahead and like it and also share it with somebody else. I don't care. Share it with anybody. Shit. Screen record it, put it in your group message, put it in a message for, a youth program. Shit, invite me to a youth program. If you're in the DMV, invite me to a youth program. If you're not in the DMV and I may be in your city, invite me. I'm always looking to collaborate. We are a youth nonprofit. This is the R.O.S.E Project. And for those who do not know, that's removing obstacles, ooh, strongholds, and excuses. We're not here for the excuses. We're here for results. And that's all we want. So like, share, and subscribe. Send it to your friends. If there's some kids out there that you can send this to help them pull through in whatever scenario they may be in right now, by all means, share it with them. I think I need another. Look at this, Nickelodeon. Look, y'all see this shirt? I need to get another one. Love Nickelodeon. Saturday morning cartoons just ain't the same no more. Who y'all watching for cartoons these days? I remember, and we would have cereal, watch cartoons. That was Saturday morning. See all the new toys that was coming out. Big him for the new toys. I hate being an adult. Adulting is whack. Just need to go back. How can we go back? That's really what we need. Shit. How can we go back to the good times? Sit up, watch TV, no work at all. No work. No work. I miss those days. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna leave you here on a serious note. Um, I pray for everyone out there in the world. I have always done that since I was a kid. You know, pray for everyone's safety by land, by land, plane, anywhere in the world. Protect and keep everyone safe. Keep harm away from others. Keep you from harming anyone else around you. I've always done it. So, in a way, I feel like I'm kind of plugged in and connected to a lot more things than most people, but I'm just here to serve. I made a promise to God, so I'm here to serve. And I want you to definitely be the best you can be because everything can be better. Your better can be better than your better. Understand that. And I got that from a mentor, but better has been my word ever since then. But it is what it is. I want y'all to have a good Saturday. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment below. I will respond to the comments. Um, we all start somewhere, so I'm revamping this channel so I could push it in a different direction because I'm here to help. I don't want to just give you, BS or entertainment that's not really going to enlighten you. We need less of that and more valuable lessons. We call it dropping gems and you know hardcore facts, tough love. That's what we're gonna do. All right, y'all. So you have a good Saturday. It's still early, so go do some walking, do some exercising. I might go do some exercise today. I need it. I really do. All right. So see y'all later. I'll talk to you soon.